each day that was recorded at the same time. So each of these monitors and each of these records, and every single time I gave the status of each tree, was at around 8:30 to 8:40 p.m. So that's usually why it kind of seems like it's already dark in my room. I would take both plants from the windowsill and bring them up to my room so I could record, and then I'd quickly go and put them back on the windowsill as soon as I finished recording. So this is just an FYI. Um, each time I recorded the plant's progress, it was at the same time, 8:30 to 8:40. To start off this experiment, you must choose one of the two plants and cover it from on top, bottom, and all over the leaves with petroleum jelly. In my case, I chose this one. Around the pot, it will have a tape that says petroleum jelly over it. That way I will be able to differentiate which one is which. So now, as you can see, I named one petroleum jelly, which is the tree that will have petroleum jelly covering all of its leaves from the top to the underside. And the other one is just a clear pot, which will be a regular tree. It will have no petroleum jelly on it whatsoever. Both plants will be watered and taken care of regularly. Nothing will change. The only difference that these trees will have is the fact that this one will be covered in petroleum jelly. Okay, so I will start covering the petroleum jelly potted tree with petroleum jelly. Let me just get this one out of the way. Okay, so then here's the tree and the petroleum jelly. Now you're gonna get a bunch of petroleum jelly and cover every single leaf from the top to the underside. You'll have a thick layer over it. Now keep in mind, this will be the only difference between both trees. As you can see, every single leaf is covered in petroleum jelly, both on the top side and the underside. Make sure that each leaf is completely covered and that none of the leaves stick to each other. Remember, petroleum jelly can be very sticky, so if you have to unstick a couple of leaves, please make sure to do so. Now I'm just checking to make sure none of mine are stuck together or stuck to the tree bark or anything. Okay, so this is day one. Both trees have already been watered and are now going to be placed under the same sunlight. For this experiment, my controlled variables are the type of plant being a bonsai tree, the amount of water that was given, which was the appropriate and suggested one that comes with each little label that each plant comes with that tells you how much food to give it, how much water, sunlight, etc., and the amount of sunlight. So those three were my controlled variables, and my independent variable was the petroleum jelly that I rubbed and placed all over this one. Stated in the procedures, I only recorded each plant's status every few days, including their leaf color and their growth. day 7 and most of its leaves are already falling. Right here, its leaf, the one that looks as if it were burnt, um, this side of the tree was facing the window most, so I'm guessing the Vaseline and the amount of sunlight that it was getting caused it to start shriveling up, and it looks as if a lighter was held up to it. And so this leaf already fell, and these over here are already starting to fall as well. So I'll keep monitoring that. Day 8. As stated before, yesterday's recording showed that one of the burnt leaves had already fallen, but over here on the regular bonsai tree, it has no Vaseline whatsoever. It's been given the same amount of sunlight and same amount of water as the other tree, and it looks to be very healthy. It's growing. It sprouted out new leaves over here. So far, it's given 2 new leaves up here, and it's looking very healthy. Its leaves are very green, very deep. Overall, it's just a very healthy looking tree, unlike this one over here that's, I guess, burning. Day 10. A couple of days have passed by, and as stated before, this tree, it's going strong. It's very healthy. More leaves are spreading up here. New leaves. Still that very beautiful dark green, rich green color. The same can't be said for this bonsai tree. The one covered in petroleum jelly has lost 2 more leaves, and this one looks ready to fall any second now. One of its stems looks as if it was burned off. And over here, this giant leaf is starting to get dark spots as well. I have a feeling it's not going to survive anytime soon. The petroleum jelly, since the procedure said to only cover it in one layer at the very beginning and then to not touch it anymore, it's still very, I don't want to say the word is wet, but it's still very sticky on some leaves. Other leaves, it's completely solidified and it's very hard. It's like a plastic waxy feeling on top of the leaf. It's a very weird type of texture. It kind of feels like it's a fake plant as well. Looks like the Vaseline became part of the tree actually. Day 14, last day. Okay, so there's good news with the control tree and there's bad news with the petroleum tree. The petroleum jelly tree, another leaf has fallen. This really big shiny leaf, it was at the very top up here, has fallen. I'm guessing that the weight of the petroleum jelly just became too heavy for it and it just fell. None of the other leaves have started to burn or get that weird burnt black look to it anymore. The same ones just kept it. This one looks like it's about to fall off. It seems to be dying around here and down here as well. These are the other leaves that had fallen. Over here, the control tree, surprisingly, it's grown a lot throughout these 2 weeks. It grew another centimeter. I had just measured it right now. It grew another centimeter taller, so that's great. Due to my results, my hypothesis is semi-correct. And I say semi because, yes, the petroleum jelly tree did start wilting and the leaves did start falling off, showing that it was dying. However, it did not completely die. It is still very much alive, even though it looks very waxy and very fake, and you can clearly see the difference between both trees. It didn't completely die like I had hypothesized it would, so I'm gonna leave it as semi-correct. The Vaseline did stop it from growing as much as the control tree did, but it didn't completely stop the growth.